Good afternoon, good morning. Welcome to the middle show on this Sunday here on Crafters TV, where we're just going to rein it back in. We're going to have a lovely, chilled craft along when it comes to the next couple of hours. So this craft along is 2 hours long, so maybe you've already got the bits and pieces then. If you have done, then of course you're ready to go, but we will go over all of the details just shortly. What I do have to just let you know, however, when it comes to this craft along, the main item we are focusing on, unfortunately, has sold out. But the joys thing about our craft alongs is once they've launched, we usually say around about 3-4 weeks after they've launched, but because our guys in the warehouse are hitting that mark so quick lately, that what we've done is we've just brought them forward. So this is all about our floral alphabet dies that just launched just less than 2 weeks ago. Now's the opportunity to, of course, do that craft along. Now, when it comes to additional items, we'll be having a look at when it comes to Second Chance Sunday. The website's the place to go, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com.au. Have a look at Shop the Day, and that is where you're going to find everything that we'll be looking at later on in the day. Now, we had an incredible first look when it comes to our Cosmic collection that's launching tomorrow with Leanne and Ben. And as I said later on, what we'll do is we'll go into Second Chance Sunday. But this one is all about 2 hours craft along, where we do exactly that. We craft along in real time. So I think we now just need to go straight across. You're back again with me within that first look, then Second Chance Sunday, but now back together again for this craft along. It's of course Jan with an epic craft along. Jan?
I'm looking forward to this one, I must admit. And the good thing about, there is a positive side of that product being sold out, and that is that you guys have all got it, so you can craft along today. We can actually use them on here. So this is what we're going to be making. It's a really nice, large size gift bag. It's got the plain panels at the side, two pieces. It's only actually made from the 12 by 12 paper, and then I incorporated those lovely alphabets, and we've got some of them cut in red mirror card, and then the others we're going to do a little bit of inking, and it was to try and get out the different tones of red that were in my paper choice. So as always, this can be done with any 12 by 12 paper, and it can be done, you don't have to do Valentine. You know, you may want to personalize it, you may want to put, I don't know, anything on there. It could be for a father, it could be for a Mother's Day, whatever. So yeah, please join in, craft along with us. I do have 2 hours this week. It's no speed crafting like last week when we had to do it all in an hour, so we should have plenty of time to get done. So shall we go through that list so that we can, anybody that's not actually ready, we can get ready. I'm just going to put the old goggles on so that I can see that far. So obviously concentrating around that floral alphabet letters set. So if you've got that one, you can use that. If you don't have it, then you could substitute that for any kind of alphabet letters, so don't worry about that. I've also added from my own stash the stitched edge ovals are what I used for the handles, and the torn edged heart was just as an embellishment. Again, any heart die would actually fit that description if you're going along the Valentine theme. So we've got some more product on there. I've got the shimmering watercolour palette, just to do a little few splatters, along with those opaque pigment inks in Chinese red and pink tulip. That's for the piece that we're going to make to cut those alternate letters out of. So again, choose the colours that suit your choice of paper if you've not got exactly the same as what I have. The black heart liner is basically to do a little bit of lettering at the end. And then I went through and I wanted something that had red in it, but not sort of in your face red. So I landed on that. I know it's a bit random at this time of year, but Colours of Summer. 12 by 12 paper pad, and then Summer Meadow was the linen card pack, and you're going to need a piece of 12-inch long for that plain cardstock that we make the edges of the bag from. And then I added a piece of red luxury cardstock, A for the handles, B for those lettering. And then we've got those additional pieces just to add to it. We've got that usual list of sort of what I call that general toolkit. Most people have these accessible on their desk. So I'm going to whiz through those with the Gemini, with your cutting plates, the Score Master and a scoring tool, multi-purpose card, a guillotine, scissors, pokey tool, a heat tool, just to dry off the cardstock. We're not actually heat embossing, it's just to dry that cardstock off when we've done the inking. I've got a piece of red ribbon around the handle, but again, if you've changed your colour scheme, ribbon to match. And then a paintbrush for the splattering, all the different adhesives. I always put them all on the list, but again, I think majority of people have these to reach within their crafting sort of setup. So all the different glues that you've got there, and then we will sort of have a look at getting started shortly.
Sounds good. How cool is that? That's everything that you're going to need, of course, if you're wanting to replicate and do exactly what Jan is doing. Now, not only will you guys at home potentially be crafting along either live or maybe just after Jan comes off air, who we have got that's going to be crafting along with us live right now. And some of you may be familiar with her name when it comes to, well, a staple, when I would say when it comes to the design team here at Crafters Companion. I'm so chuffed that she's here joining us when it comes to the craft along. And it is, of course, it's Linda. Linda Fitzsimmons, how are you doing, Linda?
I'm good, thank you. How are you? It's lovely to see you.
It's so good to see you, and I'm doing very, very well, thank you very much. Lovely to have you within this craft along. Now, some people might recognise and know your name from Crafters Companion, Crafters TV, with some of the incredible samples that you do for us.
Thank you.
How long have you...
Yeah, I used to in the magazine as well. I'm a demonstrator for you, and I work a lot behind the scenes, and I've recently joined the social media team.
Excellent. So yeah, so whenever we are doing these live shows, when we are reading some of the comments, you'll have maybe heard recently us saying that it's Linda that's on the socials, and it is, of course, yourself. So for many, it's lovely to actually see a face to the name, and at least then by watching this craft along today, going forward, whenever you are on the socials, then of course, you're then going to, well, people are going to be able to put a face to the name. But how long have you been crafting in total or in general?
Probably 25 years paper crafting. But I've always sewn or knitted or baked, so always been crafty. Used to make jewellery. Yeah. I've been with the crafters now for coming up 9 years.
9 years, yeah. And is it now, would you say, it's like card making is kind of your love? Is that your die cutting and your embossing? Or do you have another love when it comes to craft as well?
No, I love scrapbooking and card making. I do a lot.
Yeah, you do incredible samples, but of course, when it comes to the scrapbook pages and what you do as well, and you post on socials, it's always lovely to see, Linda. But yeah, really looking forward to seeing your take as well when it comes to this craft along. Have you got everything that you need?
I think so.
Awesome. Yes, well, I'm going to say what we always say, not that I would probably need to say this to you, but if you need to check anything, if there's any questions that you've got that you want to ask Jan while we're going along with this craft along, of course, just pop your hand up and Jamie will pop us through. But every now and again, we'll pop back and we'll see how you're getting on.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see you soon. And talking about social, just quickly before we go straight to Jan and we get started, Rachel's on again. This is our last show for today. Sarah's in saying, hi Jan, Craig and the Crafters TV team. Betsy's in saying, so glad to see Jan's doing the craft along. Lois is in saying, good morning everyone from Ohio, looking forward to the craft along. Amanda's saying, just managed to get here. Hiya, everyone that is chatting away. Well, that's of course you guys at home. Yes, it's me and Jan. We've got Johnny, we've got wee Jamie, and we've got Jake outside as well. Kathy's
not literally outside. We've not put him out in the rain.
Not literally, no.
Sounds as if we kicked him out then, didn't it?
Yes. No, we wouldn't do that, which, funny enough, you might actually hear the rain. The rain has absolutely started. Yeah. So, yes, Jake is just outside there, not outside in the rain. Not yet anyway, not yet anyway. Lewis is in, we've got Joe's in saying, I love Jan's craft along, she's the best. We've also got Sandra Dundasa saying, Craig, the way things sold out this week, is there anything left to get at Second Chance Sunday? That's a really, really good point. Once we finish this craft along, we're going to have to get together again and just recheck everything for Second Chance Sunday. Unfortunately, with this craft along, the floral alphabet dies have sold out. However, you can still take the inspiration in the craft along that Jan's doing. Maybe you've got some other alphabets, of course, or I'm sure, fingers crossed, they will probably be back in stock at some point down the line. But just keep an eye out on the website when it comes to well, looking ahead at Second Chance Sunday with whatever that we've got left. But we'll have a look at that later on in the day for Second Chance Sunday. As I said, it is all about this craft along. If you are crafting along, if you've got any questions, you need to check anything, just let Rachel know, and then I will fire them across to Jan. As always, I like to stay relatively silent, let's just say, within the craft along. And then if there is any questions, then I will just dot in and ask Jan. But Jan, I think we're just going to say it's over to you.
We'll get going, absolutely. So Rachel, I hope the little boy is getting a bit better. I know he's not been very well. I was watching your socials the other day. So yeah, my little grandsons have both got the similar kind of thing. I think there's something going around at the minute. So yeah, sending love, hope he's getting a bit better. So yeah, I've got all my bits and pieces here in front of me. So this is a really, really nice size gift bag. It is only paper, but the papers are strong enough to take it. Now, on the underneath side here, the papers, I'll show you how this works. The papers fold over. Okay. If you're wanting to put something a little bit stronger in there, all I would suggest is cutting a piece of card the same dimension as the base and popping it inside before you fasten these two together. So almost like trapping it. And I'll talk about this when we put the bag together. But it is surprisingly sturdy to say that it's only made out of 2 sheets of paper from the paper pad. So I've got all my bits and pieces ready. So my cards, I started off with the paper. I wanted something that was going to depict Valentine. I knew straight away that I wanted to do something Valentine. And I had a look through several of my paper pads, and I wanted something that had the red tones in, but that wasn't too in-your-face red, and landed on this one. So the Colours of Summer, and the very first paper in there has got that beautiful floral with those red designs. It's also got a nice one. I was tempted as to whether to use both sides, but I did stick with the floral. But any 12 by 12 paper will work for this. This particular one is only 180 GSM. So if you've got different weights in cardstock, it worked perfectly fine with just the 180. Okay. And then I went in my 12 by 12, because we're going to need a 12-inch length, it needed to be bigger than A4. Landed on this particular pack, which is all linen card from our Summer Meadow collection, and it had the perfect corresponding plain solid to go with it. So this is linen, and then I've got the paper weight here, and we're going to use 2 sheets of the paper and then 1 sheet of the linen cardstock. So that's my main cardstock. Okay. And then I also built in I've got a couple of pieces of multi-purpose card, and then that beautiful red mirror card from our luxury card packs, which you should be able to find on the website. Okay, so that's the bulk of it as far as the paper and cardstock. And then obviously you guys that have got the alphabets can use our new floral alphabets, but like I said, if you don't, any alphabet, I know we all have alphabets in our stash. I've got several different selections, so any of them will do what we're going to do with this today. We're just going to use them as those freestanding letters just as they come. And then out of my own stash, these are go-tos constantly. You'll notice that I've nearly always got these with me. So these are our stitched edge ovals, and that's what I've actually used to make the handles on the bag here. Okay. And I've cut them once in the red luxury mirror card, and then I've cut a couple of extras in the white card just to stack them and make them sturdy. And then this one was just, I wanted something for the embellishment. So again, I've just done a little outline here rather than a solid. Again, this can be any particular embellishment. And if you're not doing a Valentine theme, you might want a flower, or if it's a masculine one, you know, something more suitable, buttons, something, anything can go on there. So I'm not going to dwell too much on that bit. So we're going to start out, as always, with the cutting and then the scoring. That's pretty much how I work when I'm at home. It's usually decide on the cardstock, cut the pieces to the size that I want, and then score the elements in. And it's quite straightforward today. So the first thing that I am going to do is bring in my guillotine along with the piece of plain solid cardstock. Okay, so I've got my large guillotine at the ready. I'm going to take out the extension arm there, pop the little foot down so that we're all good to go. And I just want to cut 2 strips of this down the length of the paper that measure 4 inches wide. And that's going to create these edge pieces that we're going to use here to create the sides. All right, so we just want 2 pieces off here that are 4 inches wide. I'm leaving the length exactly as it is. I'm not touching that. And then I'm just going to line it up on the 4-inch mark on my guillotine there. Make sure that everything's nice and straight. Hold on that finger guard and take 1 piece out. Okay. So I've now got 12-inch strip by 4 inches, and then we're going to do the same again. So again, pop it back in there 4-inch mark. Make sure that it's all nice and straight again. And then keep hold of all the spare pieces until we're finished, because we might need to just sort of pop into those. Now the paper doesn't need any cutting, so that's the only cutting that I'm going to do for the time being. So I'm going to exchange my guillotine now for my large big score. Because I'm working on 12-inch lengths, I wanted the larger scoreboard. Now if you've only got the smaller, the A4 scoreboard, you can still do this. You'll just need to extend your score lines.
Okay.
So the two pieces that we've just cut, we will score first. And first of all, we're going to do them both the same. I want you to turn it with the long length across your scoreboard there. All right? And we're just going to pop one score line in at 3 inches. All right, so on that long side, a 3-inch score line, and then I'm going to bring the second piece in. I've got my linen side face up, the length of it across the scoreboard, and again a 3-inch score line. Okay, and then we're going to rotate them so that you've got the short side in your scoreboard. Okay, and then I want you to make 2 score lines this time, so we're going to go at 1/2 inch down one side all the way from top to bottom, and I normally do this gently a couple of times just to sort of start easing into those fibres. And then you can either turn it all the way round and do 1/2 inch again, or we're just going to pop over, because it's 4 inches wide, I'm going to pop over to the 3.5 and do a second one, so that we've got a 1/2 inch tab. This is going to create a glue tab down either side. So a 1/2 inch and 3.5, and then I'm going to repeat that on that second piece. So 1/2 inch on the left hand side, all the way down through that score line that we put in at 3 inches, and then 3.5 inches down that right hand side to create a second 1/2 inch glue tab that we're going to use to fasten it together. So that's all the scoring for those two, and then I'm going to do the scoring on the paper, and it's just one score line, really nice and simple. So if your paper has a direction of any kind, now these are straight out of the paper pad, so with florals it's not as important because they tend to go in all different directions, but if you've got a definite pattern, you want to place it so that your pattern is running along your scoreboard. So this is the top, and this is the bottom. Okay. So particularly if you've got an image on your paper that would be upside down. As I say, this one's not too bad, because even if I used it this way, it wouldn't look out of place, but I know that that's the top from my paper pad. This is the bottom, and I'm going to come in at that 3 inch again. So right the way across from one side to the other at 3 inches on the bottom edge of your chosen design. So this is the top, your pattern direction going up to the top. This is the base. And again, exactly the same on this one. So I've kept, this is how it came out of the paper pad. This is my top. I'm going to rotate that to the right hand side. Make sure that this is nice and neat at the left. This is the bottom edge of my piece of 12 by 12 and score at 3 inches. And that's all we need to do on the actual paper. Okay. So right, I'm just literally going to give you a couple of minutes just for everybody to get to that stage, and then we'll start and do the cutting and the burnishing.
Awesome, thank you for that one, Jan. Just to say as well, throughout the craft along, because of course these alphabet dies have sold out, what Jamie's going to do periodically while Jan is chatting and going through our craft along is putting kind of like the updated deals that we've got coming up later on Second Chance Sunday. So I won't verbalise them, but you can see every now and again Jamie's going to put different ones up, but what goes on the screen at the side there will be found on Shop the Day Across on the website as well, so just so that you've got something to see down there at the side. We've got, our Rachel is saying, which is a really good idea as well, the older butterfly alphabet dies that we've done previously would be cute with the craft along as well.
Absolutely, they would look lovely, yes.
They would be
yes,
really
I know we've
good.
all got lots of alphabets in our stash. I know I'm guilty. I must have got a good dozen different types. I know you like your alphabets as well, don't you, Craig? Yeah.
Snap,
as I say, we're very similar in a lot of ways with our crafting, aren't we?
Yeah, we really, really are. Deborah's saying, Jan, I can't watch right now, but we'll do your craft along later, but wanted to stop in and say how beautiful you are looking. You're one of my absolute favourites. So heartbroken that I can't watch now, but have a great day, Jan.
I think that's the beauty about this, isn't it? It's like you can actually save the shows, you can bookmark them, you can watch them back at your own leisure, you can pause us, you can mute us if you want to, you know, and literally do it in your own time. So I will forgive you. Thank you for popping in. It's like, you know, this is the beauty about it, and I think this is what is unique about us here at Crafters TV, is you've got the facility to do that. So you make it fit in with your life. Yes, if you can craft along with us in real time, it's great, but we're not going to think any less of you if you do it tomorrow or the day after. So yeah, but don't forget to show me those projects when they're done. I love seeing them all on social media, and we do try to comment on everything, I must admit, but sometimes it's it does get tough when you're all bringing in your photos.
I know it can be tough, but as Jan says, yeah, we do try. We certainly see them, that's for sure. We love seeing them. Right, let's have a look at this. Before we go across to Jan again, once everyone's caught up, we're going to have a look at our new Neon Dreams paper pad. Now, it is the 2-pack.
Debbie Robinson in a paper pad.
It absolutely is, isn't it?
It is.
It absolutely is. This is Debbie Robinson in a paper pad here. So you're going to get the 2 of them here. You're going to get the 12 by 12 and the 6 by 6. So you're going to get them all, and both of them, for £22.38 or $30.32. That gives you a saving of 20%. But your platinum price for both of these, $17.90 or $24.26. Now I'm going to show you the 12 by 12 because the 6 by 6 is exactly the same. It's just been shrunk down. What you have got, 24 sheets in each. Now you're getting 2 designs and then you're getting 2 sheets of each. But these are double-sided. Now on what Sarah would say is the B side, you're going to find it's giving you kind of that pastel, oil on water sort of effect and feel to it. But then when you go to the A side, as Sarah would say, and I reluctantly say that quite a lot because there is no A and B side. They are both absolutely exquisite. You've got the options whether you want that full, bold floral print there with, or, you know, animal print, so to speak, with the incredible Neon Dreams colour. But then what you've got is you've got that subtler effect right on that backdrop as well.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
It's
to
really
choose
tough.
which one. And with only 2 sheets in there as well, this is where you need more than 1 pad, isn't it? It really is. Look at those. It's like that oil on water technique, isn't it?
It is, and I love that because maybe you like that effect, but maybe you don't want to go down that road of doing it yourself. Maybe, you know, you already spend enough pennies on card and dies and stamps. You don't want to go down the route of marbling. Well, you're going to get that effect when it comes to this one here. Also gives you a effect. I know Debbie, funny enough, Debbie Robinson is a big fan of the shaving foam technique. Yeah. Gives you that feel to it as well. But you've got your 24 sheets, just to show you, although I say that I won't show you all of the 6 by 6, just so you can see. And I know Jan showed this earlier on when it comes to the Cosmic paper pad and how it works, and that is, it's just been shrunk down. What we mean by that, some companies out there, and it's not a bad thing, it's just what they like to do, they'll chop it up into 6. So you've still got that large design, but it's on a smaller 6 by 6. What we do is we shrink it down, so then you've got that full image, left to right, top to bottom. It matches the 12 by 12, and you're not going to lose out on anything whatsoever. Both of them here are 300 GSM, but as I say, within each one, 24 sheets in each one, 12 designs, 2 of each, and you've got that real strong, that construction weight to it as well. So if you want to grab hold of that, $22.38 or $30.32 with a platinum price of $17.90 or $24.20. You're going to find them on Shop the Day across on the website .co.uk.com or .au, and we might have a little look later on in Second Chance Sunday as well. That was just to give you that little bit of a break, as Jan says, to catch up if you needed to catch up. So therefore, what we can do right now is we'll just head straight back to Jan and carry on.
Right, so I'm going to go back to my sheets of paper first, one at a time, and we've got this section across the bottom that is that 3 by 12 inch section. So we need to fold and burnish those score lines. And just a little top tip, when you've got one section larger than the other, if you use that larger section to actually fold and put the weight behind it, you'll get a really nice sharp crease across the bottom. I spent a very long time trying to fold this bit up, which with 3 inches not bad, but when you've got little skinny maybe inches, when we come to do this one, it actually works much better, I find, if you use that larger piece to actually fold it across. So nice fold and a nice burnish to make sure that that crease is in place, and the same with that next one. All right, so I'm going to have my floral print on the outside. I'm going to have the spots inside and just secure that fold in place, and those two. So this is the size of your actual bag. So it's going to be 12 inches across by 9 inches deep. So it's a good size to put something in as a gift, this one. Again, you can reduce any of these dimensions. Those of you out there that are comfortable with reducing things, you could make it just a small one using the same as what we're going to do today. So yeah, lots of scope. And then I'm going to bring in those edge pieces that we made on those 4 by 12. So again, we've got these little skinny 1/2 inch pieces, which again, if you actually use that large piece at the top as your kind of anchor, you'll find that you get a really nice, neat fold in there. Burnish it in place, same on the other side, fold it across and burnish it in place. And then I'm just going to open that up, and I'm also going to fold in. Make sure that everything's nice and straight on your edges here, and that was that 3-inch score line. So you'll end up with a little piece.
Okay.
Looks like like a nice high back seat. We're going to do a bit of cutting in that in a second. I'm just going to fold that second one exactly the same. So I've got my linen texture on the outside, which is where we scored, and then I'm folding against that score line, just to pop that nice crease in each side. Just teaching that cardstock what you actually want it to do.
It's funny, Jan, because you folding it that way. When I was on with Debbie Robinson a week past Friday, and she was showing how to fold your cardstock because that was the way that you do it.
Oh.
So she's been doing it now as well,
Bless.
and it's something that I'm going to start doing as well because it
Yeah,
makes
it
sense.
just gives you that leverage with the rest of the card behind it. As I say, just sometimes I've tried to do it on these little skinny bits, and I tend to, and then you run off at this edge, or you run off and it's not quite straight. Whereas if you use the weight of that card behind, you get a really nice straight crease on there. So what I'm going to do now, you guys don't need your pencil, we're going to cut, but I'm just going to draw in here now. There should have, if you have your 3-inch score line at the bottom, you'll find that you've got a skinny rectangle in each side. So I've got across that 3-inch, and then where we created the 1/2 inch, and we're actually going to cut away these 2 little skinny rectangles. So we want to leave these long pieces. These are what are going to attach it to our paper for the sides of the bag. This is going to be part of the base, but we need to cut away those little skinny ones. So what I tend to do for this is I have a look at my score line, and I'm going to come on the right-hand side, I'm going to come over to the left of the score line. So I'm effectively cutting the score line away.
Okay.
Get rid of it completely, up to where that 3-inch line is. And then we're going to take out the same at this side. So you're going to take out that little corner, like so, and then we're going to do the same at this side. But this side, I'm going to come to the right-hand side and again cut away that score line. These pieces are going to fold inside the base of the bag, okay? And again, take that piece out. And then just because this has begun to come a glue tab, I like to just take the corners off at each side. Now, those of you that are used to making this kind of thing, you can do this cut all in one go. So you can come up that score line and angle it. But just for the benefit of anybody that's just starting out, just to show you how we're actually achieving that, we're just going to take those little angled pieces, and you've got one that looks like so. So angled at the top, angled at the bottom to make our 2 glue tabs, and then you've freed this square at the bottom. And then I'm going to do exactly the same with that second one. So again, I'm going to cut inside the score line to get rid of it. And this time, yeah, you can do this cut. You can angle that cut and take it all out in one piece. Okay, same at this side. Take away this side of the score line. And we can always tidy these up if these are not that neat when we come to stick it together. So I can still see a little bit of score line there. So I'm just going to take that one, just a fraction, give it a little shave. There we go. And then again, I like to just take the angles off the top. That means that when we line it all up here, you've not got to worry about anything poking out of the top when you stick it all together. Okie dokes. So that's those done. Those bits are actually all scrap. We can get rid of those little pieces that we've cut off. And then what's going to happen, you can see now, this is going to attach to here. Oh. So you've got the side of your bag, the front of your bag. This one's going to become the base. and then we'll do the same again, and then eventually stick it all together to make those 4 sides. Okay, so again, just a quick break, Craig, to make sure everybody's the same, because we're half an hour in already.
I know, it's scary.
It's just scary, isn't it?
Flies in. Absolutely flies in. Thank you so much for those of you that are watching Odd 290. I think I'm going to give this craft along a go later on. Wasn't quite ready just yet. As Jan said, that's the great thing, of course, when it comes to the craft along. You can either do it live with us, or of course you can come back whenever you feel fit. Right, we're going to have a quick hi-in chat when it comes to Linda and see how Linda's getting on. How are you managing, Linda?
Yeah, and coincidentally, I've chosen the Neon Dreams.
Nice.
Fabulous. Yeah.
That's going to
Yes, it's good, yeah.
Yeah. Looks really, really fab. Everything, I know it sounds silly asking you this, Linda, but is everything going on okay? Following everything okay?
Yeah, I'm just considering making it less than 12 inches wide because it's my sister's birthday today, so I'm going to make this for her.
Absolutely.
That's really.
Yeah.
It's nice to see as well, Jan, like even just a different paper pad being used as well.
This is what I love about it. I used to love this when we were teaching, when Debbie and I worked in the store, because you could do a project and then somebody makes it in a different colourway and it looks totally different. And that's the bit that I enjoy out of the teaching aspect, is seeing different people's interpretation of basically the instruction that you've given. So yeah, can't wait. And big coincidence there. Did you have inside knowledge, Linda, about the Neon Dream?
No, it's actually my favourite go-to pad at the moment.
Lovely, isn't it?
Yeah. There we go. See, it's fine. Part of the team. We'll give you, if you need anything, Linda, just give Jamie a shout and then we'll go back to Jan. Funny enough, talking about going back to Jan, let's do that. Let's go straight back to Jan and continue with the craft along.
Right, so we're just going to do a little bit of sticking. I'm not going to stick the whole bag together because I prefer to do the decorating bit while it's flat. I find it easier to adhere things like those alphabet letters across the front. Rather than trying to fasten them to something that's hollow inside, we're going to create this piece and stick it on before we put the final elements of the bag together. So what I'm going to do first of all is take one of my sides, one of my front panels, and we're going to use the tab to literally stick along that glue tab. Okay, now choices here, you can use your tape runner if that's what you prefer. I'm actually going to use our Collal all-purpose because this dries so strong from the benefit of the fact that this is going to be a gift bag, potentially with a gift in. You want something that's going to hold up to the work. It also gives you that little bit of wriggle room. So just down that tab that we created, that 1/2 inch tab, we're going to pop some glue, and what I'm going to do is just smooth it out a little bit so that it doesn't sort of seep everywhere. And then I want you to focus not so much at the top but along this bottom score line. I want you to make sure that that score line is lined up, and then I'm actually positioning it where I can still see this vertical score line. So you don't want to go over the score line, otherwise it's going to stick out when we fold it. But the reason I've asked you to concentrate on this one is that if it doesn't quite line up at the top, we can trim that. Okay. But obviously you can't get to the bottom of the bag. So I've got my score line now running perfectly all the way through. I'm just going to give that glue a second to grab. And then what I'm going to do is fold it, and you should be able to get a really nice edge on there. What you don't want is any of your paper sticking out at this side. So if you've got anything that's sort of protruding there, I'm just going to ease it across a little bit and make sure that it's nice and flush along that edge, and make sure that everything's running nice and square. Okay?
Okay.
Pop that to one side, and then we're going to do exactly the same with the other side. So we're going to use that other piece for the side, we're going to pop glue on, and it doesn't really matter which side you work at. I tend to go this way because I'm right-handed, but what you do want is to make sure that your panels are on the same side. So because I've got my pattern on the right and my plane on the left, I need to make sure that this one's the same. So again, I'm going to run a little bit of glue all the way down that glue tab that we created. Just smooth it out a little bit so that you've not got glue sort of seeping out of the sides there. And then again, concentrate on this bottom score line, get that lined up with the edge, and then just run it up the edge of that score line so that I can see the score line that we made here running all the way up the edge of that piece. If you're using wet glue, once it's had chance to sort of grab, then I usually fold it and you can see whether this edge is running parallel there. You don't want any sticking out at that edge, just for that nice neat finish. Okay, and then that can do its thing to dry. Okay, so that was the first part of putting it together. And then eventually you can see where this is heading, and this is why they needed to be the same way, because this one will join here and then we'll fold it all around and the last one will join the far edge. But just before we sort of think about putting anything together, I actually want to create this curve in it for the handles here. All right, so if you've got your oval dies handy, she says, there they are, put them in a safe place. Now again, you can use whatever size you wish for this. I think if I remember rightly, I used from the outside edge the second one and the fourth one, if I remember rightly. So let me just double check that. Oh no, it was bigger than that, so it must be that one. Yep, and then miss one, and then that one. That's it. So again, whatever size you want. You know, our Linda said that she was going to reduce the size of the bag, so she might want slightly smaller ovals for the handles. If you don't have the ovals, you can do these as a circle. You can do them as a rectangle. There's lots of different ways of creating the handles there. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use the smaller one of the two. So this is the inside one here. Okay. And we're going to use this to mark up our pages. So I'm going to use my glass mat. If I just bring this down a section here so that you can see, I'm going to position it on the grid so that I've got my 12-inch width. So I know that the 6 inch is the centre there. I'm going to take my pencil, and you want approximately halfway. So I'm going to use the numbers here. Mine's just slightly behind the 4 and about equal distance from the 8 there. And you want about half of the depth, possibly a little bit less, so that there's a wee bit more sticking up above than there is below. And then when you're happy with that, I want you to go around the outside. Now I've got the die facing down, so the cutting edge is facing down. Okay. And I'm going to use the external edge of the die and my pencil to just draw around to create that shape. Okay, so you can just about see, if I get our Jamie to come and have a little look, you can just see there where I've drawn that semicircle on the edge there. Fabulous. Okay, right, let me just touch that back into the right place. And then I'm going to take my scissors, and I like to use the fairly large scissors for this one. And you want to do some nice sweeping cuts rather than snipping away with a little pair of scissors. It wants to be a nice long cut. And I'm going to follow that pencil line, and I'm going to cut the pencil line away. All right, mainly because I'm lazy and I don't like rubbing them out. But just follow that curve, and we're going to take away. Now don't worry if it's not perfect, because the handle will cover this section. Yeah, well, so if you do go off and wobble a little bit, don't worry. The handle bit, when we put the handle on, covers all this up, so it's not too bad. But just follow it round, nice and neat there, neat as you can, and take that semicircle out of the equation. Okay? And then once we've done that, we can use this one now as a template. So I don't have to worry about all the positioning again. All I'm going to do is line this up with the other one. Okay, in fact, if we do it on this side, you might be able to see a little bit easier because the pencil will show up. So just make sure you've got that top edge lined up, nice and neat. And when you're happy with it, we're going to use this one now as our template. And again, just take your pencil and draw around so that you've got a second semicircle on that one. Yeah, and then we're going to do the same again. We're going to cut that one out with our scissors. So again, I'm just going to take the long scissors and follow that line nice and carefully. Take your time with it. And like I say, I prefer to use my long scissors so that I can do a nice long cut rather than snipping away with my little scissors, because you tend to get that more sort of jagged edge. So just following it round until you've taken that piece out. And then what's going to happen is when we actually create our handles with these, we're going to get the inside of the handle line up with what we've cut out, and then the outside of the handle will stick to the bag here so that you've got some anchorage for that handle to stick to. Okay, so I'm going to leave these pieces as they are now. I'm not going to do any more to them yet until we've started adding some of the other elements, because as I say, personally, when you're sticking to it, I just find it much easier to stick when it's flat rather than when it's being made into something that's hollow. So pop those to one side. Again, I'm just going to give you literally a couple of seconds to catch up. In fact, no, tell a lie. I'm going to start cutting.
I got out my chair there, Jan.
Did you? Oh,
I stood up there.
Jumped to attention, didn't you?
Up there.
He was like, I'm ready, yeah. The reason I'm going to do it is I'm going to cut the first ones in red, and then when we go to a little break, I'm going to give you some homework, because we're going to need to cut some more out of the white. So rather than doing all three of them, yeah? Okie-doke. So, need some tape. I need my low-tack tape. And what I'm actually going to do, I turn this over so that you can see, is turn them with the flat part of the die together. And I'm going to put a little bit of tape under this side and a little bit of tape under the other side. And then what you want to do is position this one as central as you can get it. So we're going to centre this one. Now my ovals are elongated ovals, so they're a little bit wider at the ends than they are here, and I quite like that for a handle. I thought that'd give it a nice look. So I'm going to focus here that this bit matches, and I'm also going to try and focus that the edges match as well. So get that one inside, and when you're happy with it, stick it down onto your tape so that you've actually got a set. And you want to keep this together as long as you can, because we're going to cut 6 handles. All right, 2 in the red. So I'm going to die cut 2 of them out of the red cardstock for the ones that we see. And then because this is going to be the carrying element, if I just take the ribbon off here, we're actually going to put white inside. Now I coloured the back of mine with some ink, but it's not really necessary. The white looks fine. In fact, did I do? Yes, I did. I've got 3 layers on each side, just so that they are nice and sturdy from the point of view of carrying a gift in there. So let's just cut this down. I'm going to take part of that off, and again, keep all the spare, because we're going to cut some of the letters out of that piece of red. I'm also going to cut this one down as well, so that it doesn't pick up any of the scarring from my plates. And I'm going to pass this one through the Gemini. So let's pop that on there with my cutting sandwich, and we're going to cut this one out. And then I'm going to repeat that, because I need a handle for each side. So as I say, if you can keep those 2 dies together all the way through this process, because you want them to be the same so that you can match them all up. So again, just be careful when you're taking them apart that you don't take the tape off the actual die. So I tend to go either side of the frame. Save these ones, you can use these for another project. And then just release gently from the tape and keep that tape intact. So just ease it off your low-tack tape, nice and gently. So I'm actually removing the card rather than taking the die off, if that makes sense. And you've got your handle at the ready. And then I'm going to pop this one in and do exactly the same. Okay. So we're going to cut a second red one. You can see now why I wanted those to stay together. And again, pop that one through the Gemini. And then when that one's cut, I'm going to come back to you, Craig. But you guys at home, I want you to cut 4 more out of your white cardstock. All right, so while we're just talking and having a chat and maybe going back to our Linda, then I'm going to cut myself, I'm going to do 4 more of these handles in white to stack against it and build it up. Okay.
I do have a question, Jan.
Yep, absolutely.
And this is Amanda, and she's saying, Jan, I cannot cut out at all. Do you think it would be okay if I cut out, this is going for the bag, so you know how you've done the half
curve,
oval?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you think I could cut them out with the dies before I assemble with the side panel to start with?
If you've got room to fit that 12-inch length into your, it's 12 by 9, you would need a large plate to fit that in. That's the only thing that I can think of. There's nothing to stop you doing it with a die, but it's whether that would fit. Let me just have a think. It's going to, yeah, the plates are 9 inches wide on the Gemini. So there would be a potential chance of damaging the edge of the cardstock. If you've got the larger machine, if you've got the Gemini Pro, you're sorted.
Plus
But
the die
other
would be
than
over
that-
the edge, wouldn't it? The oval die, it's going to be half over the edge.
Yeah, because good point. You're going to have the width of the die as well, aren't you? Yeah. So your other option is to use a craft knife. Now I'm not versed. I don't do well with the craft knife. I'd rather use my scissors. But whatever your thing is, and like I say, don't worry if it's not neat, because this one is literally going to stick over the top. So you're not going to see where you've cut anyway. We're going to sandwich it sort of in between. I stacked 2 of them together, so I had a red one and a white one, and then I stuck the third one over the back here, so it completely disguises that cut. So don't worry if it's not perfect. Have a go with your scissors for me.
Brilliant. Thank you for that
Okay.
one, Jan. Right, just while you get all of your ovals cut out there, if there is any questions still to come, send them through. But what we'll do, just in the meantime, to let anyone catch up and let Jan do what she's doing, we'll have a little look at the Floral Elegance, because this has been really popular today and we've not even fully focused on it. We're going to be having a look at it Second Chance Sunday, but we've got our Floral Elegance. This, for me, the colours are divine. I love the peach tones with the navy tones within this collection. So, yes, it's a considerable purchase, absolutely. But what you are getting, the cards, the projects, the home decor that you're going to be able to create is exceptional. It's beautiful. So you're going to get it for £180 or $250. You've still got a really, really good saving on that today's price. It's still the launch day price. But if you're platinum, that's then going to come down to £144 or $200. Now, it's there for you guys, Central Europe. You just need to go to .eu for your prices in the euros. But what we're going to do, and we will spend a lot of time on Second Chance Sunday, so we'll go through it reasonable quickly. But you've got your wax seals here. Now, these are different from our new launch wax seals. These are our old style, you know, kind of the little, slightly little rectangular blocks that you heat with an actual a lighter or some heats. What we've then got is we've also got our Gildan flakes. We've got our tub of Gildan flakes. We've got 2 of our glitter pastes as well. So we've got that rose gold and that sort of real gold that you've got. You've then got your shimmer ink pads. So 2 of your shimmer ink pads, same within those peach tones, within also the gold tones. You've then got your blossoming corner. So you've got that beautiful corner stamp that you can work singly or, of course, within each corner. We've got that lovely, elegant floral love heart. So that's a stamp there, and a good, you know, sizable stamp that you've got there within that love heart with the floral. You've got your sentiment floral. So that's creating that sentimental focal when it comes to your card. It's like your outline. We're then going to be giving you your luxurious lace. So that's kind of like your border, your edgeable die as well. It's going to look lovely on an envelope or maybe a wedding invite, but they've got that real fine lace detail. That's in there. You've then got your blossoming quilled flowers here. So you're going to die cut these ones out. Use your quilling tool or even just use your tweezers, start to roll them up to create beautiful florals. That's in there. You've then also got your classic sentiments. So your hello, your happy, your thanks within the die, and then your sentiment stamps there, which are going to complete the sentiment. That's in there. You're then going to get your spring bouquet, so that's giving you your floral stamp and your die. Use them together, or of course you can use them individually. You've then got your floral delight, so that's giving you that illustrated look 2D embossing folder. So that will complement that full range that we've done of the folders the other month there. That's in there. We're then also giving you your perfect peonies, so that one is your 4x6 stencil that you can start to ink and spritz through. That's in there. We're also then going to be giving you your floral wreath. So that is giving you 5 of your stencils that you're going to layer on top of each other as you then start to apply your inks. You're going to create that beautiful floral wreath. We're then giving you a full pack, 14-piece pack. And these are your transfer and also your foils as well. So these are giving you your alphabets, whether it's the uppercase and it's the lowercase. You've got a couple of sheets each, but then you've got different sentiments. You've also then got your icons, you've got your framework, you've got your florals. There is so much when it comes to just these foil transfers alone. That's in there. We're then going to give you, one of my favourite, decoupage. We've given you your die-cut decoupage topper pads. So we're giving you that full pad in here. So you're going to get your 36 sheets. These ones are all numbered. Pop them out. You're just going to layer them up with your foam pads or your glue gel. Really, really easy to pop out and to assemble. We're going to be giving you your 24 sheet of your 6x6 paper pad. I'm not going to flick through this one completely because we'll have a look at the 12x12, but that one's giving you that pearl shimmer within the 6x6 design. We're also going to be giving you 24 sheets, not only of your vellum, but foiled vellum. Incredible with that luxuriousness that you've got there. So you've got that bit of translucity when it comes to the pattern of the foil, but then you're going to be getting that rose gold foiled as well. So you've got your 8x8 sheets there with a multitude of designs and a multitude of each. We've then got that 12x12, so that 12x12 here, 24 sheets. So it works the same as the 6x6, of course, it's just bigger there. So you've got that pearlescent shimmer feel to each of these designs here. You've got a full focal bold print on one side and more of that subtler effect onto the other, but really hitting hard with the navies and also the peach tones. We're then going to be giving you additional one from your Floral Elegance. So that one is your mixed matte and luxury cardstock. So you've got that, some say matte, some say satin, but you've got more of that lighter tone there when it comes to your rose gold, that peach tone that you've got, true gold there, but then you've got the same colorways, but when it comes to the mirror, but you've got the blue within that one, 12x12. We're then giving you the pearlescent pad here. So a lot of the same colours within that luxury pad I showed you a moment ago, but you've got your greys in here, baby pinks in here, you've got some more of that, your lighter fuchsias, your true golds, you've got your 2 different tones of your blues and your navies, and that's your pearlescent, and that's in there as well. All of that is what you're going to be getting when it comes to the Floral Elegance. So it just launched this past week here with it was Sarah, wasn't it? Sarah and Ben, and you can get your hands on that. It's on Shop the Day, so go ahead to .co.uk.com or .eu. You're going to find it on Shop the Day. £180 or $250. If you are platinum, that's then going to come down to £144 or $200. So that's where you need to go to shop ahead. As I say, so many of you have actually been popping it into your basket already today, but we will have a look when it comes to Second Chance Sunday, and we're just going to give you that last opportunity just to finish off your homework, and when we come back after this break, we'll go straight back to Jan and we'll crack on with the craft along.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
Are we in trouble or are we all right?
Yeah.
Should be coming in. Should be coming.
What does she do?
Exactly
what
how
does she do?
he looks.
This is awesome. This is awesome.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
And I watch you every day, and it's just what really gets you through when you're really at rock bottom.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV, create every day.
What makes Crafters TV so special is you guys.
It's really special because the experts are really experts. They're really skilled at what they do. And they want to make sure that the audience also improves on their skills.
Crafters TV is so special because you've got together a really sort of key group of people and people that are very passionate about the products.
Crafters TV is so special because it's a unique community that we have with each other where we can learn and grow and communicate with each other.
Community, the family spirit, the education, everything to do with craft. We are all like-minded people who share a passion.
I love all the inspiration the demonstrators bring and all the knowledge for us out here.
What makes Crafters TV so special? 100% it's the interaction. No other crafting TV channel or show has the same interaction.
I love the community, I love chatting live, I think that's the best part. And it's gone beyond crafting because we've become friends.
It feels to me to be a really, really close relationship with our customers and viewers.
You guys make us feel like we're part of your family. I've never been on the show before, but one of my friends who I did meet from CCTV encouraged me, and I was on the craft along.
Massive team of people, and I think they've all got their role to play, and it just brings everything together. It allows us to do our job and just love it.
The people, obviously, the people not just here at Crafters Companion, but the viewers that watch us. I mean, everybody. We have this real magical essence about it.
Bye for now. Bye.
Stephanie Theodos is saying, I guess I was fortunate enough to get the new alphabet die. I hope to make this project sometime soon. Fingers crossed. If you do, as Jan said, tag her as well when it comes to social, so you can see what you've been making there. But yeah, you were very fortunate. If you are just joining us and you're familiar with the craft along, and usually what we do is we give you that opportunity to buy the product that we're doing the craft along with. As you know, sometimes what happens is it sells out by the time we come to the craft along, which happens to be the case when it comes to our floral alphabets. That's what this craft along is all about. So for those that have got that floral alphabet, then of course you can be crafting along. Or maybe you don't have them, maybe you missed out, or maybe you just thought, actually, Craig, I've got a lot of other alphabets. You can do what Jan's doing, but with any of your alphabets that you've got at home, which is a great thing as well. Stephanie's also saying it's a beautiful paper pad. Lynn Blackledge, #GoLive. Granny on YouTube saying, I used that sheet of the Neon Dreams for my craft along last week. A lot of love for that Neon Dreams. Amanda's saying, Jan is making it so easy, but I'm well behind because I'm chatting. You should take it at your own leisure. The thing is even after we come off live, you can still then just go back and continue to watch at your own speed. And when it comes to the floral elegance, this is from Linda on Facebook saying, I made yesterday's craft along with the floral elegance collection. What was yesterday's craft along? Who was on yesterday?
The lace nesting dies, wasn't it?
Well, Lily's.
Yeah.
Lily's. I'm gonna grab it. This one. So that was Lily's craft along yesterday, and Linda saying that she'd done that yesterday, but she decorated with the floral elegance, and that's a prime example, isn't it, Jan? How you can start to
all
mix
that
and
mix
match.
and match. Yeah.
There we go. Fab, absolutely fab. Right, so we are just shortly, we're going to go across to Jan and continue with this craft along. But what I did just want to let you know is, remember, with it being Sunday, the last show of the day is going to be Second Chance Sunday. So hopefully you can come along, you can tune in and join myself and Jan. We're going to be here at 6 o'clock in the UK, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. What we're also then going to do is have a look at items, yes, that have been featured throughout the week. There's some items, new items, that are still in stock. Some are hanging in there. Some have maybe sold out in a complete forum, and there's elements that are left over. Have a look on the website right now, but what you can do is come back, tune in, join in with myself and Jan when it comes to Second Chance Sunday, and we'll be having a look at what we've got left. What I will say as well is, between this show and Second Chance Sunday, if you want to have a look, and an 1 hour version of yesterday's masterclass, then that's what's going to be streaming on our 24/7 across, whether it's our YouTube or our website. So stay tuned, and we're going to keep you going all the way through, even into our last live show of the day, and further on into tomorrow, which is our brand new launch with Ben and also Leanne. When you're on the website as well, we've got our sale going on as well. Check that one out, .co.uk, .com or .eu. New lines have been added, so check them out. Get them in your basket and know that you're yours. First hour done. 1 hour to go when it comes to this craft along. So we've got this epic craft along that Jan's doing, all Valentine's theme when it comes to our floral alphabet. So I think therefore, Jan, I'm just going to zip it and we're just going to go straight back to you and carry on with the craft along.
There we go. We're almost, in my head, I'd got to do the bag in the first hour, do the alphabet letters in the second hour. So we're almost on track. So I've actually got all my die cuts at the ready now. I've got my 2 in the red mirror card there, and I've got 4 of them in the white. Now I'm going to pop a couple of those to one side for a second. And what I actually want to do is stick a red one on a white one and a red one on a white one. Now I'm actually going to come back to my tacky glue for this one, all right, which is what's in my little deep bottle, and I like this because it's got such a fine applicator on. The other reason that I'm doing that is that the solvent-based glue, as much as I love it, doesn't do particularly well with the shiny surfaces. So if you happen to get any seep out and go onto your mirror card, it can make a mark on the card that's not easy to get off. So yeah, I'm going to swap over to my tacky. I'm going to use the little fine tip applicator bottle because I just find it easier to direct it. And I'm going to glue the white one, and I've got these both face up, so this is the way they've die cut with the stitched element in. So whatever shape you're using, and I'm literally just going to pop glue all the way around the white one, and we're going to stick a red one, and this is just a strengthening exercise. That is literally all it is. And because you've die cut them with those same dies, these should marry up perfectly. Now you do get an odd sort of like gnat's whisker because the card stretches when you're die cutting it, but you should be able to manipulate it into place so that all the white's hidden underneath. Now if you do get any glue, I've just caught it here with my thumb, leave it to dry and it will just rub off with a cloth. And if you start trying to rub it off while it's wet, it smears and you end up in all sorts of problems. Now at home, what I normally do with these, just while they're dry, and I'm going to use this because this is quite heavy, is just pop them under an acrylic block. Okay. So this has got all the metal alphabets in, so it is quite heavy, so I'm going to pop that on there just for now so that you get a nice seal there. And then I'm going to do the same with the second one. So I'm just using one of them. I'm going to save the second white one to stick on the reverse of the bag just to neaten everything up a little bit so that we've got a nice finish on both the outside and the inside. So same again, let me just get rid of the glue because I've got it, I don't know how I've got it all over me, but I have. I always end up covered in something or other. And then again, we're going to pop this one on top and just wriggle it into place all the way around until you've got them set directly on top of each other. If for any reason it has stretched and you've got a little bit that's stuck out that you don't like, you can always just give it a quick haircut with your scissors. Okay, but they look pretty, I'm quite happy with those. And again, I'm going to bring this one out now and pop that one under there. And this one now should be, so again, as I say, where I've got the glue there, just a cloth and it all comes off nicely. So they should be, and you've actually got something now that is much more substantial. So by the time we've added a third one to it, they're going to be enough to carry that gift bag with. So I'm going to move those ones out of the way for a second and keep those on there. I'm going to bring in one of my, doesn't matter which one, front or back. And what we're going to do is we're going to put glue on half of this because we're going to stick it and we're going to line the inside edge up here with the curve on the bag. So I'm just going to pop that so that it lines up and all the pieces of the bag that we cut are within that curve there. Okay, now the easiest way I find to do this is if you pop it on upside down so that you've got your white piece, which is the inside bit showing, and all I'm going to do is mark with my pencil, and this is where I want my glue. All right, so I'm going to go from this side here round the base of it, and I'm going to stop because I know that's where the edge of the bag came to. Okay, and then again, pop this back down. I'm going to pop it a little bit lower than it needs to be. Because it's wet glue, I can then just wriggle it into place, and I've got that nice edge that we cut secure inside. And then if you turn it over, again, you should be able to see that everything's lined up nicely inside. Okay? And then I'm just going to use my cloth. Because I'm working with mirror card, I don't like to sort of add any unnecessary scratches to it. So just to use the cloth, make sure that's secure now. And then I'm going to flip it over. And one of the ones that we kept, I'm going to use the right side down so that they're all in the same format. And we're going to pop this one over the top here so that you've got it all nice and neat. Now what I did on my sample, you can just see here, I actually used some of the ink and just coloured the reverse of this one so that it was just toned in nicely. It's not necessary. If you wish to do that, if you wish to colour this with either an ink or a pen, I would do it before you stick it on. But just for the purpose of the craft along, I'm going to go on the front of it, so the bit that it's die cut into, and this time we're going to put the glue all the way round. So all the way round the oval, and then I'm going to invert that so that that front side is going to marry up nicely with the ones that we've already stuck together. And again, that should line up perfectly with that edge there. And I find this is much easier to do. Well, this is why I didn't stick the two pieces of the bag together. I find it much easier to get these all lined up when you've got that hard surface, instead of trying to, you know, manage with it like this and try and squeeze it against, there's nothing behind it to get you pressure on it. So it's just my way of working. And it's sort of over, you know, years of experience of trying to do this and getting a better finish. So they line up now beautifully. Again, you can just squeeze them into place. And if there is any overhang, I've just got a little bit. That one's not quite in position. So there should be time to just wriggle it about on there. And I can always trim just that little tiny. You can just see a fraction of the white there, which I can nip round with the scissors and just trim that off. Okay? Okay. And then I'm going to do exactly the same on this one. Okay? So the two that we stuck together, I'm going to do the same again. So I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to line it up with that curve that we cut. I'm just going to give myself a little guideline. If you can eyeball the halfway mark, go for it. I'm just not very good with things like that. So just having that little pencil line gives me, you know, that sort of marker to stop gluing. Okay. And then again, I'm going to position this one on the bottom, just slightly below, and wriggle it up to meet that edge. And then if you turn it over, you can see at this side as well whether you're in the right position. Okay, so I've got that one stuck down nicely, and then the last one that you had left, the top edge of it, so the bit that you've die cut into, we're going to glue all the way around. And then we're going to stick this one on and cover up any sort of, so this is why I said it didn't matter if you weren't very neat with this edge, because the whole thing is actually hidden and concealed inside the one that we're sticking over the top. So you've added the strength to the handle, but you've also popped this inside as well. That's better, that's positioned better, that one. There we go. And again, once I'm ready, I'm just going to take that soft cloth and get rid of any glue markings that are on the outside of the mirror card. So we've got both of them at the ready now. So I'm going to leave those to dry. I'm just going to pop back to you for a second, Craig, and then we're going to concentrate on those alphabet letters.
Sounds good to me. Lots of love already for those that are doing the craft along and those that are doing it just shortly. Just to say as well, so we're going to dot across to Linda just in a second, but we've got Alison is saying, Craig, is the HSN preview next Sunday? No, it's a little bit sooner than that. It's Thursday. Rachel has said to let, she's popped it into the groups, but she's just said to let everyone know that wants to know the HSN preview is on Thursday, the 25th. So it's not Sunday, so don't worry. So you're still going to have the full Sunday schedule next weekend, which happens to be me. I'm going to be on, well, Saturday I'm going to be on with Jan again, and then Sunday I'm going to be on with Corin. So you've got me on next weekend. So yeah, we've got full Crafters TV schedule next weekend. So there you go. Hopefully that helps for you, Alison. Right, let's have a look. Let's have a chat to Linda, see how Linda's getting on. How are you managing, Linda?
Yep, great. I've gone for 8 inches and I've got circular handles.
How cool is that? Really, really smart.
That looks good with the circles on. I like that one.
Yeah.
This is what I meant about seeing all the different variations of them. It looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've used silver glitter.
That works really, really well. It's nice having that glitter, as you said, but it's nice having that neon dreams and then complementing with that white as well, keeping it white with the sides and those handles, Linda. That's really, really smart.
That's actually the lilac from the luxury 12 by 12.
Oh, gosh. See, when we say about certain colours...
It's white, but it's actually lilac.
Yeah, yeah, and that actually prime example, with certain colours we show on air and we'll say, you know, the screen doesn't do it justice until you get it home. There's that prime example as well. You know, it's really, really smart.
I just wondered whether if I put white next to it, it would show up better.
Yeah.
Oh, you can.
See the difference there, yeah.
Yeah, you really, really can.
What size did you end up on, Linda? What did you decide on?
8 inches.
Fabulous. And this is what I mean about it's fairly straightforward to just reduce it down, yeah?
Yeah.
Great.
Absolutely perfect. Brilliant. Thank you for that one, Linda. What we'll do is, again, if anything, I'm sure there won't be if anything, just give Jamie a shout. If not, we'll dot back and see how you're doing just shortly within the craft along.
Okay.
Okay. And you know what? Let's not wait any longer. Let's go straight back to Jan and continue with the craft along.
Right, so we're going to get a little bit messy now. I've popped the bag to one side to let everything dry. We're actually going to do the messy panel to cut some of these letters out. So this has been done with inks, and then, oh my goodness, this has become one of my favourite pieces of equipment.
You really love them, don't you?
And honestly, I have to splatter everything now with this shimmer paint. So don't come too close because you could get some splatters, Craig. But yeah, absolutely gorgeous for adding just those little accents. So yeah, we're going to do a little bit of messy, and then we're going to cut alternate letters. Some of them out of the scrap that was left over in the red. And then we're going to cut the others out of what we're going to make just now. So what I've done is I've taken my opaque pigments. You know, you guys know that these are sort of my go-to. This will work with your water reactive inks as well. So if you don't have the opaque pigments, you can use the same colours or colours to choose, you know, to fit in with your choice on the water reactive. Now I've gone for Chinese red and I've gone for pink tulip because in my paper I've got a darker shade of the red and then that light. It's not quite pink tulip, but they'll make a nice mixture together. So I tend to start with the lightest one first, and how I'm going to go is direct to my mat. So either your glass mat or a ceramic tile or a piece of acetate or packaging. You want something that's non-porous, and sit your ink on top, and then I've just got my water spritzer and I'm just going to add a little bit of water to that. And then it's simply going to be a case of dabbing my cardstock, and this is just the white multi-purpose card again, and literally mopping up to get that lovely mottled effect. I want a mixture of both the pink and the red on here, and there's no right or wrong with this. It doesn't matter how you do it, and you very rarely get the same effect twice, but it's one of my favourite ways of creating backgrounds, okay? So just mopping up as much of that ink as you can get. All right, so all those areas that have still got a little bit in there. And then once I'm happy with it, I'm just going to give it a quick blast with my heat tool, just to take away any wet, because otherwise the red and the pink are going to mix too much. So just a quick blast in there, get rid of it, and then I need to get all the pink away. And then we're going to do the same with the red. Okay, so again, I'm going to pop some of the red ink. Now we don't need to be too heavy-handed because the red's a much deeper shade than the pink. I'm going to try and hit some of the gaps. So obviously this corner here, I'm going to go in there because we've got a little bit of white. Okay. And then I'm going to try and aim for some of the areas that I've got gaps in. But as I say, don't stress about this, just go for it, just mop up the ink. Okay, you can always add a bit more water and a bit more ink if it's getting dry, and essentially create yourself that messy background. So we're just about there. Don't worry if there's some white space in it, we can address that in a second. Okay, so again, just adding a bit more water to get the last of that ink. And then that last corner there, we'll see if we can get a bit. Excellent, I'm quite happy with that. So again, I'm going to get rid of the surplus ink so that we're not getting it all over. I'm just going to pop the heat tool on it again just to dry off that set of red ink. So anywhere, if you've got any areas that are really wet, you can always blot off the excess. It doesn't have to be perfectly dry, but we don't want it to be too wet, because when we start with the next stage, obviously the water's going to interfere with it.
So is that a good way to stop kind of like muddy colours
bleeding?
Coming together?
And yeah, it's not so bad with the pink and the red, but if, for example, I was using a red and a yellow, you're going to start and get orange in places. Now, if that's what you're looking for, great, but I wanted to stick to the colours that are in that paper that I've chosen. So you can see now that we've got a similar kind of colour palette going on to the paper itself. Okay, so if you're not keen on all the white areas, what you can do, and I don't think I brought one of those with me, just bear with me a second.
No problem.
While I have a quick, that will work, that will do the trick. You can actually take an applicator, and because the red, as I say, is a darker colour, I'm just going to take some of the pink tulip, and in those white spaces, I'm going to add some of the pink tulip in so that it's a little bit more prominent. Because no matter how hard you try, the darker colours always seem to prevail. So the red is a stronger colour than the pink. And obviously there wasn't as much of the pink showing. So just a little cheats way to fill in those gaps.
Yeah, yeah. Really nice.
Just by adding a little bit of that pink in there. So I'm quite happy with that now. Again, I'm keeping the desk reasonably clean so that I don't end up covered in the ink, and then in come the paints. So if you want, if you're working with the water reactives, it will work really well. I've got a little bit of it on here. I can see where it's picked up some of the markings, the water marking, but if you want to do the water and flick your water at it, then you can have a go at that. But what I'm actually going to do is bring in my paint. So this is the Moonbeam collection, and it had the most gorgeous set of pinks down this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go for this third one down, which is Dahlia, give it a little bit of a spritz, and then I need one of my paint brushes at the ready. And then all I am going to do is bring this piece in, and again, there's no right or wrong with this. You're going to soak up some of that gorgeous paint in your paintbrush. Really load the paintbrush up, and then go in with the splats. If it's not as loose as you would like, you can add a bit more water, and then just go for it. Again, no right or wrong. We want an abstract, because we're going to cut letters out of this, so it's not a background as such. We're actually going to die cut into it. I'm also going to go for that next one up, which is fuchsia, which is not quite the red, but it's enough to give us a little bit of a mixed tone. So again, load that brush up with the fuchsia there, and we'll just go in with a couple of those. And then you're going to get this dry with that lovely shimmery detail, and the letters will pick up a little bit of that when you start cutting. So again, I'm just going to take the excess out of my brush, give it a dry.
What colour was that you used?
So this was fuchsia and Dahlia out of the Moonbeam collection. Okay. So I'm going to pop those over there to dry off. I'm going to take my cloth again and get all the splats. And then again, just one final blast with the heat tool, just to dry off the paint. And when it dries, you should see that gorgeous shimmery effect come through there. It's just that little bit of extra.
And it's nice because sometimes, certainly I'm bad for it, Jan, whereas I'll just automatically cut into my block cardstock, my linen or Centura Peril, or so it's nice to create your backgrounds. And
you know, this is my kind of thing, Craig. I love making the inky backgrounds, and I do have a box that I've just got bits of card. Like sometimes I'll just have an afternoon playing with the inks, playing with the paints, looking at what different mediums I can use. And I've got a box that's got pieces like this in. Obviously, I wanted to link this to my chosen paper, but that's just about sorted now. And you can see here, if I hold this up to the light now, to the camera, it's got those lovely little splatters of shimmer, which those letters are going to pick up, okay? So what I want to do then now is I'm going to sort of alternate, and my word just happened to have an odd number of letters, which I was quite happy at. So what I've got to do is I've got the word Valentine. So this is how I worked it out at home. And I want to do red, leave one, red, leave one, red, leave one, red, leave one, red. Okay? So I'm going to bring in the red being the mirror card. All right? So there are a couple that we need to cut twice. Okay? But again, that's just a second run through. Now, I actually took mine off the strip. I'll tell you the reason why, which will make you laugh. Okay. Craig will laugh at this because he knows me well, is that they weren't in alphabetical order. I don't know whether you've noticed that, Craig. And it was really annoying me. They'd obviously fit them onto the piece of card that fit in here in a manner that all the letters fit, which was great on both sides of the sheet. But I looked at them and like, they're not in alphabetical order. I can't, you know what my OCD's like. So yeah, I've just got these little magnetic sheets that I have some of my dies at home, and I've actually put them in order. So we'll take out all the letters that we need.
The reason I'd recommend doing that as well is the D and the B are different, but they look so similar, and the P and the Q are different, but they look so similar as well.
Well, another little hot tip. You can see on the back of mine, I've used my...
Good tip.
My pen, my permanent marker. Yeah, and on the back of them, I've got what the letter is, because again, I'd got the P and the Q and the B and the D, and I'm like, oh my days. And they weren't in the right order to check them. So yeah, written on the back of them.
Linda's done the same thing to see her off camera here.
So let's have a look then. We need V, A, L, E, N, T, I. See, they're much easier to find when they're in the right order, N and E again for a second time. So pop those to one side. I can sort those out later. I'm going to do the dark red ones first and pop that one to one side to dry. Okay, so we want to pop on this one then. We're going to start off with the V, the L. So I'm going to miss out the next letter, V, L, then an N, miss one and the I, miss one and the E. Okay, so turn those that way so that we're using less cardstock, and then I'm going to stick those down and pass those through my die cutting machine. Okay, so we'll just stick all those in place. Cut the card down, because as again, anything that's got a coated surface like that, the scarring on your plates will affect the cardstock, so I don't like to waste pieces that haven't already been used. So my plates were in a safe place, and we're going to pop those on and just pass those straight through the machine. Those are going to cut out no problem whatsoever with that normal sandwich of plates. And then I'm going to bring in that piece that we've just made and cut the remaining letters out of this piece. Okie dokie, so I'm going to leave those there. I just need to take the N and the E, because we need that twice. Those can stay there for a second. Make sure I've got rid of all the pieces off here. Do my housekeeping, flip it over, and then on this one, if I come back to here, we're going to need the A from the middle. We need another E, so I'm just going to make sure I've got all those little pieces of card out of the die. Miss one, we need the T. Miss one, we need the N. Okay, so we've got plenty of card there that we can use either on another project, or we can, I used a little scrap of it on my, for my embellishments. And again, that's a good question. Jamie's just asking me, what machine would this fit through? So if you were doing the letters individually, these would actually go through your mini. okay? But anything, it depends how many you're cutting at once. What I've got here, you can see easily fit on my smaller plates, which means they would go through your midi. But if you were just cutting one row of them like such, they would go through your mini as well, or individual letters. All right, so again, I'm going to pop that together and pass that through my machine as well. And then we should have a full set of letters.
I like as well, I suppose with any alphabets, but with these, the waist, you start to use them as stencils and that as well, couldn't you?
They are,
create your
yeah.
own like letter stencil.
So just get rid of all the bits and pieces. I can tidy all those up later. I want this little pesky that's hanging on for dear life. There we go. So we've actually got now then, we've got V, A, L. That E's from the end. That ends from the middle. That one's there. And then inside here, we should have the remaining ones inside. And then I'm going to give you all a break again when we get to this point, just to make sure that everybody's got to the same bit. So that's my second letter. I will poke all these little pieces out in the break. So V-A-L, or whatever word it is that you're spelling. Then we've got the E. So we're alternating in between. And then we've got V-A-L. Then we want the T.
It really balances it out, doesn't it? Having a strong metallic red with a nice soft red.
I liked it, and again, it was the paper really that was the inspiration for doing it that way, rather than having them all block, in the block colour. I just thought there is two tones definitely in the paper, so then I actually picked those two tones just to echo it in the letters. So you can see we've got those there. So I'm going to flick back to Craig just for a couple of minutes, get everybody to catch up, and I'm also, while you're doing that, I'm just going to be poking all my little pieces out of the middle there.
Rightio. What we'll do, just while we give everyone that opportunity just to catch up and for Jan to do what she's doing, let's have a look. We've got our wax seal kit as well. I adore all the wax seal kits. And with this one, this is new. Still got some of this in stock. What we've also got is the showstopper. So, our brand new wax seal kit. Maybe you're familiar with our original one. We had one at Christmas time as well. Really elevates your project. Whether, of course, it's an envelope, maybe, of course, it's going to be for wedding invites, but you've got what you need. Now, it really is kind of along the lines of that old-fashioned style. It's beautifully presented where you've got your base. Now, you're going to come along with even just an inexpensive tea light, and you're just going to light that, sit that over the top, and then what you've got is you've got your little, essentially, like your little spoon. You're going to pop that over the top there by popping in a couple of these waxes here. Now we've got kind of like a chocolate metallic and like a white silver metallic there. What you've then got is you've got your little holder. Now with that little holder, there's a little screw end at one side, but then you've got three heads here. Now one of them, you've got that rose impression. The other one, you've got the love heart impression. And then this one, I don't think we've done it before, and I think this is so cool that we've got it. It's just a plain flat one. A really, really good plain flat. Maybe you don't necessarily want an image in the actual wax seal. So by using them, what you're going to get is, this is using also some of the additional colours that you get included as well. So although you get the two containers, we're giving you a pack of these three. So you're going to be getting I'm going to have to show you that and read them up close. The azure, the vintage rose, and also the peridot. It's giving you that green tone there. So these two here are the two that you get included within the actual box, and then those additional three here are what you're going to get there. Now this is what I was meaning by, you've got the impression with the love heart. So the love heart is the impressions along the top. You've then got the rose along the centre there, but the base one, that's got none. That's just using that flat one. I think that's really nice just to also pop onto an envelope. You don't necessarily have to pop, of course, anything else on there. If you've got any previous ones, although they don't necessarily will fit onto that, If you do have any additional ones, you can start to use those. If you've got little dried flowers, anything like that, any little speckles, maybe some of your harder sequins, glitter, anything like that, you can start to sprinkle in just before it dries. So you're going to get all of these pellets as well as the 2 tubs with the pellets within that box. But when it comes to the actual showstopper, what you're going to get is you're going to get 4 paper pads. I've got 3. These have all been reordered. They're back in stock. They're with, of course, this showstopper, where you're going to be getting the Delightful Daisy. So it's your 12 by 12, 36 sheets, 180 GSM. You're also then going to be getting the Be Beautiful. So that one's your 48 sheets within that one. 180 GSM 12 by 12, and then you're also going to be getting the Say It With Flowers 36 sheets 12 by 12. Not only that, you're also going to be getting from the Sunflower collection, and you can see it there on the bottom left hand corner. So you're going to be getting that one as well. So the Sunflower, Delightful Daisy, Say It With Flowers, Be Beautiful. That is the 4 12 by 12 paper pads that you're going to get as that showstopper. You're going to get that main wax seal box itself, so you're going to get all the components with the 2 tubs of those wax seals, plus you're going to get a further 3 within additional colours, all new colours for the wax seals. And if you've got any of the colours from the previous wax seals or the heads from the previous wax seals, you can start to use them in as well. We're going to be having a look at them within Second Chance Sunday, but you've got that showstopper at £90 or $110. If you're going to go for your platinum price, you're going to be £72 or $88. So really, really lovely one, elegant one to add to your projects, such as your invites. And if you do that and you sell, you can always add a good couple of pounds or dollars when you add a wax seal on. But they're on Shop the Day for you to check out on the website, .co.uk.com.eu. Get ahead before we head across into Second Chance Sunday, but that's where you need to go. Right, half an hour left to go within this craft along, so let's carry on. Let's go across to Jan and continue with this craft along.
Right, I've got all my little letters at the ready. I've popped all the pieces out. Now, when I was actually prepping this, these are absolutely beautiful to do your paper piecing with. But I haven't done it on this occasion. I just thought I know how time-consuming paper piecing can be. So if you wanted to add elements to it, you could do that. So, for example, where you've cut out, one set, you could recut it and actually sort of mix and match. So have the dark red in here and the light red in here. But as I say, I very much felt it was going to take a wee bit too long to do that when we'd got everything else to do as well. So on the main sample then, well, first of all, I went onto the bag. And in my opinion, these didn't show up well enough for what I wanted them to do on top of the lettering.
Okay.
So you can see for my sample here, I've just cut a strip for them to fit on. So we're going to make that strip, attach it to the bag, and then pop the bag together. So all I want you to do now then is there should be some of your white stamping card left. I keep calling it stamping card, multi-purpose card. Just card, isn't it now? It's lost everything. It's just smooth card stock now, yep. It's like those of you that have been with us a long time will understand what I mean by stamping card. Right, so I'm going to take the guillotine again. And for my, first of all, I'm going to use the piece that we had left over from the linen cardstock. All right, and I want to cut this down to 11 3/4. So there's not a lot missing off it, just a little bit off that edge. It was 12 inches. And then it's going to be by 2.5 inches. So I'm just going to take a strip off there at 2.5. So that's going to be my mat layer. I think our guillotine wants sharpening, I've noticed a couple of times that I've got furry edges. There's nothing worse. Furry edges, yeah. I think it needs some, no, it just wants some aluminium foil in it. Give it a crunch. Aluminium foil will sharpen the blade. Just a few times with some aluminium foil. Yeah, it'll sharpen it up. And then the white, I'm going to go down to 2.25 inches. So this is going to be our layer to put the letters on. So let's just have a go again with this one. Be a little bit quicker rather than And then I want this one to be 11.5. So I've literally just created like a matten layer. Okay, so I'll pop that one back. That's all I needed that for. Sorry, Jamie. He's shivering in there every time I do the guillotine. And you can see now that we've got that piece just nice as a matte layer, and that's going to fit on the front of the bag. All right, so a quick stick together for these two. And again, I've gone back, because it's just cardstock, I've gone straight back to that collal all-purpose. And I'm just going to sit that one straight over the top and just line it up with a fairly equal border all the way round. And leave that one just a second to dry off. And then we're going to bring in our dotty tape pen, and we're going to stick all those letters in. So again, what I want to do is work out, I'm going to pop it on my grid and centre it between the 12 inches. And I'm just going to make a little tiny mark at 6 inches in the centre. Okay, so because it was 11 3/4, I've just centred it between the 0 and the 12. I just wanted to find the centre of my piece of cardstock. Okay, and because my word had an odd number, I know that this one is the centre. So I've got 4 here, 4 this side, and 1 in the middle. So I'm going to start in the middle with the N, which was one of the red letters. I've still got my guide here. So we've got the N, because the N was duplicated, I've got my N here. And I'm going to go roughly sort of in the middle. All right, I've got my little mark. I'm just going to cover it up with the letter. And then make sure that all the others fit nicely. And they did literally go from one end to the other. Just make sure before you stick any of them down that you've got room. Because some letters take up more space than others. So this side we've got a T and an I that are considerably narrower than the ones at this end. So again, now when I did this at home, this is what happened, and I've done exactly this today to show you that it didn't quite fit. And if you notice on my sample, they're all higgledy-piggledy, which gives that sort of nice, quaint look.
It does.
It sort of prevents having to get them perfectly straight, and they all fit on in the gap that I needed. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to leave these in place, and I'm going to start now at this end with my dotty tape pen, and I'm just going to go lightly onto the back of the letters with a little bit of that dotty ink. And then I'm going to go for a little bit of an angle. So I'm going to go right up to the edge and slightly up with the V. Then the A is jumping off. Look, it's waiting to be stuck down.
So irrelevant of what way or what direction you're going to go in the end, would you always recommend start with the centre, have a look at that centre letter, and then
if these would have all fit on straight, yeah, I would have made sure that they were equal so that I'd got an equal distance at each end. So by starting in the middle, you can work outwards. And if you start at this end and started sticking, this was going to happen when I got to the other end. And then you've got to start moving them about. By doing it this way, I'm actually saving a little bit of space just by tilting them and putting them at an angle. So yeah, whenever I'm doing anything that involves lettering, I nearly always start in that middle section. Okay, so again, just pop them at a slight angle, and it means that you can get a little bit more on your piece of paper than what you would do if they were straight. And then, as I say, it gives it a bit of a feature as well. So not just backwards and forwards, but up and down as well, look. And then we're going to come, I've still got my centre mark here. So the end now is going to fit around about that centre, but I've actually created a little bit more room. I'm going to bring this one sort of reasonably, not quite straight, but reasonably. And then again, we're going to carry on with that tilting. So this one then, instead of taking up the whole room here, I'm going to lift it back a bit and tilt it in.
Okay.
And then again, up and down. So this one's going to come down and tuck in here. And you can see all of a sudden now we've got room to fit them all in the gap that we've got.
what's nice about it as well, I like with the positioning that you've done there, Jan. You know how, if we make something where it's balloon stamper dies, how we tend to offset balloons?
Yeah.
It's giving you that balloon feel, but with the letters.
So you can see now that we've got them all in place. Okay? And then choose one of them. It doesn't matter which one you go for. And this one's going to fit inside here. So again, cardstock to cardstock. We're going back to that all-purpose glue. And then I'm going to hand back to you, Craig, just for a second before we finish off.
Of course you can. That
bag. Yeah?
Sounds good to me. Rightio. So if we then just have a look. So we've got Taryn, thank you very much. Little bit subtle, I know, but just saying that you've noticed that what I done when it comes to my YouTube channel the other day, my Crafter's Companion one. So that's what I done when it comes to, of course, the template library the other day with the alphabet die. So yeah, just subtly positioned that in there the whole time so you can see just here. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to have just a little bit of a break. We're going to let anyone that just needs to get caught up with this craft along, and then we'll be back just in a couple of minutes.
Here at Crafters TV, it couldn't be easier to get your hands on the latest crafty must-haves. Leave the hard work to us while you shop from the comfort of your own living room. Head to the Crafters Companion website to see our full crafty range, or hit the Shop the Day button to see all the new and exciting products featuring on Crafters TV. Once you've filled your cart, leave it to us to get your crafty goodies to you in super quick time, so you can get on with being creative. Crafter's Companion, making crafty shopping a breeze.
Many of our viewers bring up time and time again, and that's our wax seal gate.
Thinking, Joe, it might not work as well because I've put too much. Oh, I've forgotten to put my thing in place. Because I have a way of words that I think that doesn't engage with that and can come out all wrong. Water.
That wasn't the one you just washed your brush in, was it?
Sorry. Yes, but it doesn't matter.
No, it wasn't, was it? It was. Are you kidding?
I'm going to have to say, it's a slip of the tongue. I'm going to say it's maybe to do with my Scottish accent. I'm maybe going to say it's because of Mr. Ben Mosby. He is, well, yeah, he doesn't help matters.
I've made pots that have exploded when I fired them. I've done zips in inside out. It happens to everybody.
We've all spilt our glitter all over our project or knocked the water over.
You're right.
I've just noticed I've got my dress on inside out. So I was messing about doing some backgrounds with the sparkling, took the lid off it and managed to catch the pot somehow, and the whole thing came towards me, down my front, across my lap, onto the floor. Went to reach for the water and do the tapping with the and so there was less tapping and more sort of a tsunami. I've got some
If you love Crafters TV, we've made it easy for you to watch us wherever you are. Whether you catch us on your tablets or take us with you on your mobile phone, it's easy to watch us anywhere. From here to here. Maybe don't watch us here. It would be easy to watch us here. Probably the easiest place to watch us is here. Crafters TV, with you wherever you are.
There once was a man who was very crafty. His name was Craig from Carnoustie. He joined the team on Crafters TV. Oh, crafty Scottishman craft. Soon may the crafty men come to bring us demos and inspiration. Each day when his crafting is done, he might do a Facebook Live. He wanted to prove he was the man, but he lost at craft was to Leanne. But 2 weeks later he beat Jan, oh crafty Scottish man craft. Soon may the crafty man come to bring us demos and inspiration. Each day when his crafting is done, he might do a Facebook Live. He did so well on Crafters TV, Sarah sent him off to Germany, where he did some work for QVC, oh crafty Scottish man craft. Soon may the crafty men come to bring us demos and inspiration. Each day when his crafting is done, he might do a Facebook Live. His crafting skills, they aren't half bad. In fact, I'd say they're totally rad. That's mainly down to his favourite foam pads, oh crafty Scottish man craft. Soon may the crafty man come to bring us demos and inspiration. Each day when his crafting is done, he might do a Facebook Live. The crafters, they loved him a lottie for his charm and skill. They went quite potty, they nicknamed him the Hardy Scotty, oh crafty Scottish man craft. Soon may the crafty man come to bring us demos and inspiration. Each day when his crafting is done, he might do a Facebook Live. In the crafting world, he's standing tall. He's the best Scottish crafter of them all. Catch him Monday to Friday on his wake-up call, oh crafty Scottish man craft. Soon may the crafty man come to bring us demos and inspiration. Each day when his crafting is done, he might do a Facebook Live.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% of your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches. You'll receive 1 point for every pound, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Rightio, welcome back to this last part of our craft along. Hopefully that you're all caught up now and you're now right up to date as to where Jan was on that craft along. We've got just about 10 minutes, just under 10 minutes left to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to check in with Linda, see how Linda's getting on with her craft along. How are you managing, Linda?
Yep.
Oh, wow. That is smart. That's really, really smart.
I used the duets, waterfall and soft heather.
Oh, soft heather duet, right? That works well.
And then I've shadowed it with the purple, deep purple craft Centura Pearl.
Ah, that looks smart. I love that combination. Yes, the colour, but I love how obviously you've made it smaller, and then the handles you've changed as well when it comes to the circle dies as well. And I'm sure there's going to be a very special gift that's going to go in that, isn't there?
Yeah, she's actually got a nice bracelet and charm from a very popular high street store.
Oh.
Begins with P.
Right, we know that one, yeah.
Yeah, it's a big birthday.
Yeah, it's a big birthday. 21
yeah.
Then. 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, plus 59.
No, that's right. She's definitely going to love that one as well. There's something nice about giving a gift inside a handmade gift bag as well, and personalised.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. That's why I made it smaller, because there's only 4 letters in her name, so.
That's true. Good point. Good point. Yeah. Good idea in making it smaller. What we'll do is we'll let you finish it off. We'll come back and we'll say goodbye just before we end this show, Linda, but we'll see you just shortly.
Okay.
See you then. Rightio, if you're ready, Jan, we can crack on with the end of the live.
Yes, I've just had a moment there, guys. If any of you did see me just literally disappear off camera really quickly. I just had a really funny moment, but I'm good, I'm all right, so we'll continue. We're almost there. think it just got very warm in here, and yeah, I just went really, really odd, and I was like, I need to get off camera before I do anything silly. But yeah, we're all good. So,
okay, if you're sure.
Got our piece in place. The only thing that we've got left to do now then is just finish off the sides and then seal the base of our bag. So I've got both of my pieces, and you can see exactly as we did when we started, we're going to stick onto the glue tab now. So I'm going to stay with my all-purpose again, just to create that nice firm seal on this side. Again, just smooth it out so that we're not getting any of it seep. And then I'm going to come this way this time, focusing on that bottom score line again. So just find my score lines, match them up, and then just making sure that I can see again that score line going all the way up the edge. Okay.
Okey-doke.
And again, I tend to fold it just so that I can double check, that there's none of the paper sticking out or none of the cardstock sticking this way. All right. And then I'm going to leave it folded this time. And we're going to put a little bit on this one, just the same. Again, just smoothing it out there. And then if you turn it so that it's flat here and fold this edge in, the whole thing now should line up pretty much perfectly if we've got everything in the right place. So again, just double check that those score lines at the base are in the right place and that the top edge, and then the whole thing should fold. It should be perfectly flat. So again, we'll just give that glue a second to grab at each side. Okay. And then we're going to do the base. So again, if you pop it so that you've got your bag shape. And what I like to do with these to make it nice and neat inside, I'm going to leave the front one while last. So the one that my letters are on, I'm going to leave while last.
Okay.
I'm going to fold in the back first, and then the two sides, and then the base, so that the sides are trapped in between, so that when you look inside the bag, you've got a nice neat finish on the inside. And again, I'm going to continue with that all-purpose glue. It dries so solid that it's almost like having a second layer of cardstock. And if you remember right at the top of the show, I said if you were going to put anything heavy in your gift bag and you wanted to reinforce the base of it, this would be the time to do it. I would be cutting a panel just a smidge smaller than this piece here and sticking it on here before you enclose the rest of it, so that you've got some reinforcement inside. But these two are going to stick onto there. They probably will pop up and down for a second until we get the other piece in. And then I'm going to put my glue on that last panel, which was the front bit that we pulled forward. And the reason I like to do this one last is so that on the front of your bag, you've got that nice fold here and not the bit that's folding together.
Perfect.
Now this should all meet up nice and square. And then if you turn it upright, and then you want something that's a decent length, to just pop inside and spread all that glue out. But doing it this way, if you look down inside the bag now, you've got a really nice inside without those two little side tabs sticking in there. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, Jamie's just saying, if you've got the double-sided papers, it's giving you that little bit of interest inside as well. Now, you can actually put score lines when we started in the centre to do this next bit, but all I tend to do with it, because I didn't want it to go all the way down, is I'm just going to pinch. So I've got my thumb and second finger on either side and the first finger here, and I'm just going to pinch it until the corners and the top match here, and then literally just give it a squeeze, not all the way down, but just to create that indentation in the side. And then the same at this side. So again, finger in the middle, just pinch it there, and then just squeeze all the way down. And I've gone to about 1.5 inches from the bottom there, just to create that shaping. And then you can see there that we're almost there. Okay, So the only other thing that I added to mine, I wanted to put in the words "Be My Valentine." And I went through a fair amount of my stamps and I gave up after a while because I couldn't find what I wanted, okay? So what I actually did was write mine out with my handwriting, with one of my pens, and I've just literally do them. Which way we're going to go, Jamie? We do it that way. Yeah, I've just used one of my fine liner pens and I just wrote on little inch squares the B and the my. Okay, and I did it in pencil first to get the size in right, then went over it with the black. And you can see there that I've just popped those on just as that extra decoration. And then again, I'm not going to do this bit with you now because I know everybody's potentially doing different themes and things like that. But out of the scraps that were left, I've got a bit of the red left and I've got some of the pattern left that we made. I've just cut, with mine being Valentine theme, a couple of hearts there. And then the very last thing I did, you know me with my gems and things like that, I just grabbed some of my gems and I've got them on here. And then I just popped a little coloured ones on the heart there just to finish off. So that was my sort of finished gift bag. If I move this one out of the way, you can see there, again, embellish as you wish.
Look at that.
Whether you want flowers on there, whether you want something that's sort of, you know, you might be sending a gift to someone that's a cat lover. You could put a little cat on there.
That's true.
Or a dog lover. You know, there's lots of different ways of embellishing. I just picked the heart purely and simply because I'd gone down that Valentine theme. And then last of all, I just chose my ribbon, literally, and went through the handles and just tied my bow just to link it together there. Okay, so I'll pop a bow in it and we're just about there.
That is fab, Jan. How fab is that? How cool is that? I know that so many of you that have already been doing the craft along will be loving it from, of course, your comments, and then those of you are really looking forward to actually making it afterwards. So, yeah, lovely to see all the comments coming through. Let's head back to Linda for the final time and see how she's got on and to say goodbye. How did you get on, Linda? Oh, look at that, yes. How smart is that, Jan?
That is gorgeous. And this is what I mean about taking the instruction and personalising it to something that suits you. What a beautiful gift. I know you can buy things like this in the shop, but I just think as a crafter, we get the satisfaction of making it. And then for the recipient, it's personalised to them. So yeah, absolutely gorgeous. I love your choices of colours, Linda. They are beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I added the swatch for a happy birthday.
That's so smart. Linda, thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking part. Really, really appreciate it. It's lovely to see you as well. And, you know, I know we've got an incredible design team, but thank you so much for all the incredible work you put in, because you always go above and beyond as well. So thank you so much, and thank you for taking part. We'll see you again.
Thanks for having me.
You are more than welcome. Hopefully see you again. See you later, Linda. It's lovely seeing Linda. Really, really is lovely. Yeah, as I was saying, lots of you loving that craft along. Trisha, Mary Pat 1000, Mary Beth, we've got Pat all just saying, so happy that you've seen it, you've been able to save it, and then you can watch the show later on. Some of you got the number, some of you are going to change it when it comes to the letter, should I say. So whether you've done it live or whether you're going to come back and do that craft along, do make sure, once you've done it, do tag Jan in the post across on social media, because I know she'll love to see it. Feel free to tag me as well with being on this side. It's lovely to see what you make, having watched Jan do the step-by-steps. But we're going to be back, if you're watching live, we're going to be back in an hour's time for Second Chance Sunday, where we're going to give you the opportunity to have that second chance at having a look at, well, some of the items that we've still got available. Now, some of the launches, yes, have sold out. Some of the launches, we've got them in different configurations of whichever is left over. And then we're just going to have a little bit of a peruse at some additional items. Thankfully, the layout collection is still in stock. You know how much I absolutely loved and adored that layout collection. We've got the Floral Elegance, we've got those wax seals as well. We're just going to have a cracking 2 hours on a Sunday evening UK time, of course, where we're just going to have a little look as to everything that we've got left over. Do remember as well, this may be the end of this current week, but we've got a brand new week starting tomorrow with Ben and Leanne with a brand new launch. Keep an eye out when it comes to that new launch tomorrow morning on the website. But before then, while you're on the website, website. Do make sure you check out Shop the Day. That's giving you a look as to everything that we've been or will be showcasing within Crafters TV today. And I say that because, well, we don't always get a chance to look at everything. So check it out. We'll see you in an hour.